Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. And don't forget to buy my book, folks. There's a link down below. And also, I'm going to put a link down below to today's featured article, which was in the Daily Mail, about a former mental health support officer at HMP LINDHOLME, which is somewhere in Yorkshire, near Barnsley, I believe, because a certain prison officer has just been released from custody and has told her story to the Daily Mail. Her name was Amy Hatfield, age 40, the mother of two children, a single mother of two children. I've got my Tales from the Jails hats on today, which was kindly provided by Larry the Goatman. And Larry the Goatman sent me a link to this story. So thank you very much, Larry. And so I'm going to talk about this. You see, Amy Hatfield, 40-year-old mental health support officer at HMP LINDHOLME, had been seduced by a particular criminal called Joseph Whittingham, who was, I believe he was aged about 34 at the time. Persuaded her that he loved her and sent her many romantic messages and images, etc. You know what I mean? Involved her in the usual back scuttling, shall we say, and he persuaded her to start smuggling in and drugs contraband. And it amounted to, in total, over £1 million worth of gear. This rather delusional young lady managed to smuggle into HMP LINDHOLME, where, over the last 2 or 3 years, 7 prisoners have died due to poisoning from taking a drug known as spice. And Amy Hatfield was smuggling in bottles of Ribena, empty bottles of, well, they were not filled with Ribena, they were filled with liquid spice that was valued at over £1 million inside the prison. But not only was she smuggling in spice, she was smuggling in MDMA, which is also known as ecstasy, which has terrible side effects. Also ketamine, which I thought was used to sedate horses. There's no end to this woman's talent, eh? Ketamine. Spice papers, you know, that's paper that's been impregnated with the drug spice. Anabolic steroids. Liquid testosterone. I mean, that's just what you need in prison, isn't it? You got no females around, so I tell you what I'll do, I'll have some extra testosterone. One wonders what they're going to be using that for. Also, she was smuggling in mobile phones, tobacco. There was no end to what she was smuggling in. And she was eventually captured, and there were a total of 17 people involved in this rather, well, it said it was the most complex smuggling enterprise that they'd ever uncovered in HM prisons. And she was subsequently sentenced to imprisonment and has just been released, and her story is in today's Daily Mail, and there's a link down below. You can have a look at her. And she had a little nickname, Joseph Whittingham, the inmate who was her controller and seductive lover. He had a little nickname for his darling Amy. He called her Lips, because he said she had very beautiful lips. Not hairy bastards like mine, eh? You'll see her picture. It's in the link down below on today's Daily Mail. But imagine that. I mean, you're obviously putting people under a great deal of risk. And what was she doing, this woman? She's a single mother. She got 2 children, putting a whole career, all life at risk, mixing with this inmate. I keep preaching about this here, and I know it gets boring me keep banging this drum, but the inmates are sophisticated criminals, career criminals. They haven't got anything to lose in prison, and what they're doing is seducing and manipulating vulnerable females who shouldn't be in the prison in the first place. But the Home Office and the prison department, in their infinite wisdom, have decided that that's what they're going to do. Well, they're doing it because it's cheaper to employ these rather vulnerable ladies than it is to get some staff who would actually deal with them. I mean, and don't forget, I've been there, and they do try and bribe you, they try and manipulate you, say stupid things to you like, oh, you're too good for this job, you know, good-looking guy, like intelligent man like you should be doing something else. Have a look at this picture of my villa. I've got a villa in Spain, I've got a home in the Greek islands, I've got a yacht. You know, we'll put £10,000 into your bank account and all you've got to do. And the next thing you know, you're banged up in strange ways yourself instead of being in charge of the place. Just don't do it. It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense if you've got something inside between your ears, but if you're a vulnerable woman, and some of them are as young as 19, 20, the Hostess Brigade. I mean, look at them. You can see them on YouTube. Backscuttling in Wandsworth. Try that one. Anyway, it didn't work out too well for Joseph Whittingham, the criminal that persuaded Amy Hatfield to conduct this smuggling ring, because he was found dead in his cell at HMP Woodhill. He's dead in his cell at the age of 36. Don't know what the cause of his death was. Most likely an overdose of his own poison. What next? Don't forget, comments down below, folks. Like and subscribe. We need more viewers here. We also need some not insults, comments. I don't need to encourage Larry to insult me. But I'm wearing your hat, Larry. Tales from the jails. That's what we need, yeah. And Scott, thanks for all your messages, yeah. We will be speaking soon. And Bob the Bob, I've not heard from you for a little bit, Bob the Bob. And all the rest of you, please do. Aidan, yeah. Hazel, here's another poem for Hazel. Hazel lives in Shropshire. I keep mentioning Hazel, but she's a dear young lady. Loves her home in Shropshire. And if you've never been, I highly recommend that you go and stay at the Feathers Hotel in Ludlow, and then have a drive out to Clun. I mentioned Clun the other day, one of the quietest places under the sun. And this is another poem by A.E. Houseman. This is My Team Ploughing? Are you sitting comfortably? Like, subscribe, buy extra copies of my book, and stand by for action. Is My Team Ploughing by A.E. Houseman. Is my team ploughing that I was used to drive, and hear the harness jingle when I was man alive? Aye, the horses trample, the harness jingles now, no change though you lie under the land you used to plough. Is football playing along the river shore, with lads to chase the leather, now I stand up no more? Aye, the ball is flying, the lads play heart and soul, the goal stands up, the keeper stands up to keep the goal. Is my girl happy that I thought hard to leave? And has she tired of weeping as she lays down at eve? Aye, she lays down lightly, she lies not down to weep. Your girl is well contented, be still, my lad, and sleep. Is my friend hearty? Now I am thin and pine, and has he found to sleep in a better bed than mine? Yes, lad, I lie easy, I lie as lads would choose. I cheer a dead man's sweetheart, never ask me whose. A Houseman is my team ploughing. It was also recorded by Peter Pears, who had the song put to music by Benjamin Britten. It was his boyfriend, by the way. Good luck to the lad. And now, I've got to find my song dinger. Here it is. Song dinger alert there. Like, subscribe, books, all the rest of it. This is a song originally recorded by Johnny Ray. I used to quite like Johnny Ray. I remember watching him when he was at the London Palladium in, I think it was about 1956. Hey, that's a long time ago, isn't it? Hey, but I do remember it. Yeah, and he had a big hit with this song. It's called Cry. And seeing as Joseph Whittingham is now dead, we're not crying for you, you miserable drug-addicted, dirty bastard. Rot. But for all the poor hostess brigade that are suffering in the prisons, and they shouldn't be there. This is Cry by Johnny Ray. If your sweetheart sends a letter of goodbye, it's no secret you'll feel better if you cry. When waking from a bad dream, don't you sometimes think it's real? But that's only false emotion that you feel. If your heartaches seem to hang around too long, and your blues keep getting bluer with each song, remember sunshine can be found behind a cloudy sky. So let your head down, go on and cry. If your heartaches seem to hang around too long, and your blues keep getting bluer with each song, well, now remember, sunshine can be found behind a cloudy sky. So let your head down and go right on, baby, and cry. There you go. I bet you'll be crying now you've heard that bastard. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton.